Hi, my name is Szpiro, and I'm an MBA Admissions Consultant at Solomon Admissions Consulting. Before joining Solomon Admissions Consulting, I worked for 10 years in MBA Admissions at Cornell University SC Johnson Graduate School of Management. Over the years, I've read thousands of applications and interviewed countless prospective students. I've also had the pleasure of speaking to many prospective students just like yourselves, and I know how very important this decision is. In this video, I'll share some information about the program at Cornell Johnson, as well as some insider tips on how to stand out in your application. The 2-year MBA program at Johnson offers core courses in the first semester. These core courses include leading teams, financial accounting, microeconomics, marketing, critical and strategic thinking, managerial finance, strategy, managing operations, and data analytics and modeling. In your second semester, you can also begin taking elective courses to round out your academic experience. In your second year, you'll take an immersion program. The immersion program model at Johnson is a way of combining classroom learning with practical experiences. Students choose immersions in corporate finance, digital technology, investment banking, strategy and consulting, strategic product and marketing, or a customized immersion, which allows students to blend aspects of the immersions and create their own unique immersion program. Another option for the full-time MBA students is a 7-week intensive program that's offered in the spring semester of your second year. This intensive is held at our New York Tech campus, and the intensives are in the areas of fintech or cultural and media tech. There's also a strong focus on leadership at Johnson, with programming such as a leading teams course that is held in the first semester of the first year. Leadership expeditions, such as ones to the Adirondacks or even Patagonia. And there are also a number of programs such as the Leadership Fellows, Board Fellows, and Park Fellows that further help students enhance their leadership skills throughout the program. One defining characteristic of Johnson is its tight-knit community. Cornell is located in Ithaca, New York, a small college town. The small town and relative small class size make it easy to get to know your classmates and your professors. Johnson students and alumni support one another through the 2 years of the program and beyond, which makes the network a valuable asset to both students and alumni. As you would expect from a top business school, Johnson is known for its strengths in finance and consulting, but also marketing, operations, and more. One common misconception is that since Ithaca is a 4-hour drive from New York City, that it might put its students at a disadvantage in terms of recruiting. However, Johnson students have numerous opportunities to take courses at the Cornell Tech campus, which is in Manhattan, and it allows the students to have the resources that are available at that tech campus, as well as easy access to the city. Students also can take advantage of easy transportation options to and from New York City. Cornell has a campus-to-campus bus, which departs from Ithaca twice a day with round trips from New York City. Cornell Johnson also has excellent career services and a very, very strong alumni network. So let's talk a little bit about the application process. There are 3 application rounds at Johnson. Round 1, the deadline is in September, with decisions released in November and early December. Round 2, application deadline is in January, and decisions are released in March and early April. And the final round is in April, with decisions released in May. Now, when you're applying for any MBA program, the application process seems very, very immense. And I want to have you remember that each part of the application process is a chance to tell your story. So you should take the time to reflect on your journey So thinking about your experience so far and your goals, and do that at each stage of the application. The Johnson application will ask applicants to consider their short and long-term goals. When answering this question, it's important to focus on Johnson's faculty, courses, and clubs, and consider how these resources will help you achieve your final goal. It's therefore important that you take the time to learn more about the school's curriculum, programs, and extracurricular. A great deal of this information is available on the school's website, but taking the time to contact and connect with current students and alumni will provide deeper insight than just by reading the website. Visit campus if you can. It's important to imagine yourself in this environment because you'll be living here, going to school here, and meeting people here for the next 2 years. So take the time if you can and come to campus. The application offers applicants a choice of 2 essay prompts, and you're required to just pick one. The first essay prompt asks you, how do you intend to make a meaningful impact at Johnson and on the Johnson community? This is where engaging with students, alumni, faculty, and staff will come in handy. By understanding the community at Johnson, you'll want to think about how you can contribute as well. You need to tie this into things that you're already doing, ideally. So think about this. Perhaps you're a mentor for a youth group. Maybe you would like to take advantage of the Johnson Leadership Fellows program and mentor a first-year student when you're in second year. Maybe you are active in a cultural community at home, and you would like to be involved in a similar club at Cornell, or maybe even become the president of that club. You also want to give some consideration to how you'll contribute and give back after graduation as an alum. The second essay prompt is, what's something unique about you that others will remember? This question allows you to share a specific character trait that you have that you feel people will remember. You'll be able to share not only that trait, but consider how it's helped you succeed. You also want to tie that character trait into how this will help you in your future goals and how it will help you impact your time at Johnson. Once your application has been reviewed, you may be invited for an interview. Interviews can be done in person or via Zoom and can be with an admissions staff member or a trained second-year student. Interviewers will have read a summary of your application, which will guide some deeper dives into your candidacy. That said, a typical interview will always start with questions like, why an MBA? Why Johnson? Walk me through your experiences. And what are your short and long-term goals? When asking about your experiences, the interviewer is looking to see evidence that you have stretched yourself. Maybe you've taken on increased responsibility at work without being asked. Maybe you've taken all accelerated courses at school. They're looking to see that you are able to push yourself. In terms of the goals portion of that interview, they're looking for a logical and consistent narrative related to your experiences and your goals. So to prepare for your interview, I think it's really important that you look back at your application and make sure that you can make the connection between your chosen goals and the specific strengths and opportunities that Johnson has to offer. The interview itself will last about 30 minutes, which will also include time for you to ask questions. Make sure you're prepared for this latter part of the interview as much as you are for the former part. Show interest and curiosity. Show passion. I go back to the tight-knit community at Johnson. Demonstrate through your interview that you will be an effective and supportive team member in your class and beyond. Remember, too, to focus on leadership. During your interview, you'll want to demonstrate your strengths in this area through your experiences, both past and present. I think the best way to prepare for an interview is to have some high-level points that you can refer to, but don't memorize the script. Be prepared, but be flexible, and be able to provide deeper insights into some of those specific follow-up questions. For me, I think some of the worst interviews that I've conducted have been when the interviewee is so focused on their script that they can't address those follow-up questions. I want to summarize some key points. It's important that you understand the application process. Take time to review the application process and some of the application's unique features. The Johnson application requires that you answer questions related to your goals, both short and long term. You have a choice of essay prompts, so consider how you can best tell your story and which essay prompt will allow you to best do this. Interviews can be in person or via Zoom. They can be with an admissions committee member or a student. Prepare early and often so that you're ready for whatever questions come your way. Understand the schools that you apply to. Take the time to understand their strengths and their culture. Attend information sessions in your area or online. Your Solomon Admissions Consultant can also share a variety of options to learn more about your schools of interest. I've shared with you some basic information about the Johnson MBA, the application process, and the community culture. Choosing an MBA program can be a daunting task. If I could give you one piece of advice, it would be to carefully consider what you hope to get out of an MBA program, besides a degree. If you want to have meaningful interactions with some of the best business school faculty, if you want to have excellent career opportunities, and if you want to have lifelong relationships, then maybe you should consider a Johnson MBA. I also hope that the application tips that I shared might help you as you navigate the process. For more personalized guidance, contact Solomon Admissions Consulting and start your MBA journey today.